Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk reading goals for 2025. I have been thinking about these goals for quite a long time. I love hearing about other people's reading goals, which will lead me to asking you, please leave your reading goals in the comments because I love getting inspired by other people's goals and then maybe thinking, ooh, that's something that I'd really like doing as well that maybe I haven't thought about, or something that just sparks a new idea. So definitely feel free to share your reading goals in the comments and hopefully maybe my reading goals will inspire you. So I wrote my reading goals down in my beautiful journal, which is from Paper Blanks. They make some of my favorite journals. And if you care to know, I also use a green Bic pen to write in my green journal. And I put on my green sweater unintentionally, but we're all matching today. I love writing down lists. I'm a huge list maker, and I feel like I love writing down lists specifically in Notion or just the Notes app on my phone, but something that I want to get more into the habit of, and that is kind of not really a reading goal. Partially, I did write it down in here, is I want to just make sure that I am handwriting down more of my lists. I am, like I said, a huge list maker, and lists really keep my brain and my mind organized. My brain and my mind are the same thing. Anyway, let's look at the goals that I have written down. I am very excited to talk about these with you guys. All right, so I will begin with my specific reading goals. I put my reading goals on this page and my bookish goals on this page. So number one, it's my number goal. So this past year, I had the goal of reading 60 books, and right now I have read, I think, 71 currently. It is December 12th, so I am still hoping to read more books by the end of the year. My number goal of how many books I want to read in 2025 is 80. Now, that is a lot of books, but my job is reading and reviewing and recommending books. So to me, it's I think a very achievable amount, although I think I do need to prioritize making sure I set aside time to read, which I always do anyway. Underneath, I wrote, but always remember quality over quantity. Something that I think that we need to remember is, although it's really fun to create a number goal, the main thing that we need to make sure we're doing is reading for quality rather than quantity, because the quality of the literature that you are taking in and taking the time to read should be something that is bringing you joy rather than I need to read all these books because I need to reach this goal, and you're not really appreciating and taking the time to read those books. And I do feel like I get that as well, where I'm trying to read so many books and then I'll read a book and I'll completely forget it. And I always try to make sure that I'm absorbing the books that I read and that I am making sure that I am prioritizing quality over quantity. So although I want to read 80 books, which is more than what I have read this year, or just under what I read this year, one year I read 100 books. I think that was in 2021, potentially, and I really enjoyed every book that I read, and I did still prioritize quality over quantity. So I have read in this range, and I think it's quite achievable for me. So anyway, although I do want to read 80 books, I always want to remember quality over quantity. The next goal I have is to read at least 20 books from my 2025 TBR list. Now, I haven't shared this list with you yet, and I am extremely excited to, because I have some fantastic books on that list that I have honestly been meaning to read for years, and I've been in such a great reading mood the past month and a half, 2 months, and I am just so excited to finally read so many books that have been on my shelves for forever, and to talk about those with you guys, and to finally read the books that I know I'm going to love, that I've just been putting off for no reason. So I will be sharing that 2025 TBR with you soonish, and I can't wait for you guys to see the books that I'm hoping to read. I do also want to make sure that I'm reading for fun and not just strictly because I wrote down these specific goals and specific rules. I still want my reading to be fun and spontaneous, as well as also planned, if that makes sense. Then my third reading goal is read at least one classic every month. So this year, I think I read around 18 classics, and as you guys know, or if you're new here, you might not know, I am a huge classics reader. I love the classics. It's probably mixed with literary fiction. I feel like a lot of classics fit into the literary fiction genre, but I love classic books, and I love talking to you guys about classic books. Like I said, I read 18 classic books this year, but I want to make sure that I'm reading one every month, because I do also feel like it's nice to take the time to pick a specific classic for each month. Sometimes I'll read like 3 classics in a month or 2 classics in a month, and then the next month I won't read any classics. I kind of want to just like spread out my classics reading a bit more instead of stacking them in the separate months, if that makes any sense. But I'm very excited about that one as well. I can't wait to read more classics, especially ones that I have been meaning to read for years. Then my final reading goal, and I do have more space at the end of this page if I want to write any new goals. I might also be inspired by you guys, so if I am inspired by you guys, I will add them to my reading journal here, and maybe I can share those with you in the future. My last reading goal is to read more Russian literature. In 2021 and a bit into 2022, I was voraciously reading Russian literature, and I love Russian literature so much, and I just slowly started reading less and less, and then I was just reading other books, and I really want to try and get back into reading a lot of Russian lit and making videos about Russian lit, because those are some of my favorite videos to film, and I love talking about Russian culture and Russian history, and I kind of got reinvigorated by a book that I just read called The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden, and I talked about that in my December TBR. I also recommended it in that video, and I read it this month, and I fell in love with it, and it's set in Russia, and it deals with a lot of Russian folklore, and it really inspired me to get back into Russian literature because I love it so much, and reading the Russian names and being in a Russian setting just made me feel so nostalgic, and as well as reading from other cultures. That's another thing that I should write down, that I will write down, is to read more broadly from different countries and cultures, as well as prioritizing translated literature. So that all kind of fits into my read more Russian lit goal, but I will add another one below it that says read more broadly from different cultures and countries and prioritize translated lit. So those are really my main reading goals, and then we will move on to my bookish goals. So the first one I have here is to take the time to write and share thoughtful reviews. I used to love, after I finished a book, thinking about it for a really long time and then setting time aside and either typing it out, usually typing it out either in Goodreads. Fable is more new to me, but it would usually be Goodreads or on my computer, like a Google Doc. And I loved, and I still do love writing reviews, but I think I stopped taking the time to write really thoughtful and thorough reviews. And I want to start doing that again. I love taking the time to really think about what I've read and reflect on it and gather all of my thoughts and write a review that really honors the book and honors my time reading it. I feel like as a person on YouTube who talks about books and recommends books and reviews books, when people ask me what I do for a living, I'm also an illustrator and I do also write. Part of what I say is that I'm a book reviewer, and that makes me feel like I have some kind of I'm not a literary critic by any means. I mean, I am in a very small way, but I think I just want to prioritize writing my reviews because it honors the time that I read that book that I'm reviewing. And I really love writing reviews. I wrote a review for The Bear and the Nightingale that I'm really proud of, and I shared it in my December TBR, and I just want to keep doing that more. And then the next goal that I have written down is to handwrite my book reviews in this journal. I love typing things out because I like seeing them organized on my computer and having it all digitally, but there's nothing like a tangible piece of writing. I really love this journal. It's so beautiful, and I feel like the act of handwriting something feels so exciting and special because I feel like I write so much on my computer, and I want to prioritize handwriting more because it just, the act of handwriting something, especially like a book review, it just feels more special and more intentional and more thoughtful, and that's really what I want to prioritize. Then the next goal I have is go to different cafes and scenic places to read. I really love reading in different places, in different settings. I don't love it if that place or setting is really noisy and distracting because I don't read well when there's a lot going on around me unless I can really focus. Unless I'm really, really loving this book, then I don't care whatever's going on around me. But I love reading in cafes, I love reading in bookshops, I love reading in libraries, I love reading in the outdoors, so I really want to prioritize that and make sure that I'm taking myself out and also like on dates by myself, but also going out with Leon and reading together. We did that a lot this past summer. We would go to the library to read a lot and just read at home as well. I love reading at home. There's nothing like being in your pajamas or being in a cozy outfit and just reading in the comfort of your own home, but I do think it feels really special taking yourself out, and whether you get a coffee or a tea or a pastry or lunch or something, doing something a bit more special and a bit more intentional when it comes to taking the time to read. The next goal is explore 5 new bookshops in either/both New York and the UK. So right now I am partially living in New York, partially staying in the UK while Leon does his master's, and I love exploring new bookshops, and I put a number goal to explore 5 new ones because really, 2025, so my goal is to read at least 20 books from my 2025 TBR list and then 5 new bookshops. So I kind of wanted to lean into the 2025 type thing. So there are some 20s, some 5s, but anyway, that's just a little me thing. So I want to explore 5 new bookshops, but I also would love to explore more. I have not been to all of the bookshops that are in the city, some that are on Long Island as well, which is where I was born and have grown up and live. My family is on Long Island, and I also went to university in New York City, and although I visited and have visited so many bookshops while I lived in this city, there are so many, especially in Brooklyn, that I haven't been to. And also now that Leon and I are in the UK for a bit, we've been exploring a lot of bookshops, and I just want to keep doing that because it's truly so much fun. It's one of my favorite bookish things to do, and it's a fun thing to make it a goal and think, okay, I'm going to a bookshop and this is like towards my reading goal, like it's towards something. I just feel like that makes me even more excited about it. The last one I have is very exciting, and that is to build wooden bookshelves in the new living room. So I will explain certain living situations in the future, but right now Leon and I are in a very unique situation because Leon is British and I'm American. We just got married this past June, and we're in the process of sorting out all of that stuff. Where are we going to live? Where are we going to stay? Like saving money, getting a job, and a bunch of stuff. We're really in like a very transitional period in our lives, and we will be building new bookshelves in a new room. Which I will explain more in the future, but I'm really excited. That is also going to be a job for my dad. If you know my dad, he's been in a few of my videos. He's a fantastic woodworker. He doesn't do woodworking for a living. It's mainly a hobby for him, but he's kind of like a do-it-all type of person. He knows how to fix everything. He knows how to build everything. He built the bookshelves in my office room and in my bedroom, and anyway, that's a job for my dad. So my dad and I and Leon are going to be building some new bookshelves in the new year, and I'm very excited about it. I'm so excited. So we will be having potentially, well, yes, we will definitely be having a new background for some of my videos in 2025, and they will be new bookshelves as well. Very exciting stuff, and I'm very excited to keep you guys updated with all of that. But yeah, so those are all of the bookish goals that I have written down. I am definitely going to most likely add more to them because I did leave space, like I said, on the bottom, and I would love to know what your goals are, and maybe I could add some of your goals to my list, like I said, if I get inspired. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed hearing about my goals. I think it's really fun to plan ahead and think about the exciting new things you can look forward to in the new year, and I guess like have a clean slate, have a fresh start. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you have a fantastic end of the year. I will see you again very, very soon, so I'm not going anywhere, but I just want to say that I hope you have a wonderful holiday season and new year, and I'm excited for my and your fresh start in 2025, and it's just fun to plan, and I'm excited about all this, and I hope you are too. So anyway, thank you so much for watching and for being here. You guys mean the world to me, and yeah, so I will see you very soon in another video, and as always, happy reading.